built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nffasa.org. That's nffasa.org.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nffasa.org. That's nffasa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Well, that's the weekend. You don't know what's going to happen. As much as you know what you want to happen, you don't know what's going to happen, and you watch it. It's college football. I mean, it was the pros on well, I guess you knew what was going to happen. Well, maybe you didn't on Thursday in the NFL. Certainly a weird one on Friday. And then, I mean, from 4 overtime games to flag plants, which really flag planting is the thing now, to craziness that's not really settled a whole lot, although it's settled some, including the Lobos fate on the football field for the rest of the season. Good morning and happy Monday. Happy December. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Thank you for spending some time with us this morning. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and the very well-traveled JJ Buck. How you living?
I'm living.
How you feeling?
Heart's beating.
JJ
standing upright.
Yeah, JJ made the trip on Thursday with Lobo Football to Hawaii and spent Thanksgiving on the beach. How do you feel, Dontrell Moore? You were sitting in Dontrell Moore's seat on the plane and in the broadcast booth. Then Devin Dampier went and tied your
Let's
school
just say
record.
I'm happy I made it there because they realized, like, wait,
That's
you're
not
Dontrell Moore.
Well, we're already in the middle of the ocean. What are we going to do now? So that guy's going to be Dontrell Moore. Can you run? Can you score 19 touchdowns in a season?
I can run, but not at that level.
How was the trip? Aside from the play, Mr. Lincoln.
Awesome once you get there.
Yeah.
It's any time you're on the plane that long, everyone understands it.
How long were you guys? So you went here to Oakland, you sit on the plane, you refuel, and then it's another 5 hours.
There is it's about 7 hours both ways.
Yeah, because it's 2 hours, an hour and a half to Oakland, refuel 45 minutes, and then about 5 hours each way. That's a long time, dude.
And I'm just sitting there going, and you're going to do this with more teams in conference play more often in a couple years.
Well, you'll be doing that with basketball, and you'll be doing, that's how it's going to be. 38-30, New Mexico loses on Saturday night, late Saturday night, as we all watched on our phones, except for JJ, who watched with his eyes. Micah Alejandro, 37 for 57 in his first collegiate start. 469 yards, 5 touchdowns, as the Lobos lose to another freshman making his first start this year. And this guy looked fantastic. Now, UNM was basically without his whole starting defensive line, right? You guys got out there and it's like, whoa, it's really not who's playing. It's who's not playing.
Who's left on defense. They look like a football team that was out of gas on both sides of the football. And when you see that at that point in the season and discussing it, it stings more because you built up expectations. You're right there. So as a fan, it hurts. As a program, it hurts. But then you start thinking back to Montana State, to Wyoming, because when they took the field and their starting defensive line wasn't there.
They weren't there.
They weren't there.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, their game.
You sat in their seat. They didn't take.
Like they were out. The Bryson Taylor has been one of your best cornerbacks. He didn't play. You had in the second half Elijah Brody, who's a freshman wide receiver, start playing cornerback for the team.
Say that again.
A freshman wide receiver
started
playing cornerback for the Lobos in the second half against a passing offense that was clicking at a high level. And so it makes you think about the missed opportunities that much more they had earlier in the season. Like they got off to a slow start offensively. Devin didn't quite look as dynamic as he's looked all season long. And that's just the reality of it, of who they were in that game.
Bronco Mendenhall's going to be with us at 8:30, not 9 o'clock as normal, but 8:30 this morning. And I'm really curious to talk to him. And I wonder if, and I'm sure he has, when he allowed himself the time to reflect. Did he reflect on the what if, as you just talked about, that was Montana State and or Wyoming? Or did he reflect on the progress that the club, that the team made? And, I heard Rob at the end of the broadcast, and I thought you did a really nice job, by the way. Really nice job stepping in it, because it's not easy, and good work on that. Talk about how the enormous strides, and they did. I mean, they made strides. They're one game better than they were last year. They were one game better than last year, right? They were 4-8 last year. They were 5-7 this year. They look better at times. And I'm going to tell you, at times last year, they looked pretty good too. When they beat Fresno State last year, they looked pretty good. When they played Utah State that last game of the year and were knocking on the door to win the game, they looked pretty good. But I wonder if Bronco allowed himself to focus on the positives and the strides that were made, or do the what ifs, the goodness gracious, the oh gosh, the Montana State, the Wyoming, the ones that got away. Does that encompass your thoughts?
Right after the game and through the weekend, you're going back and forth between both feelings, even as a head coach, because you still have to figure out what's next, the process of moving into next season, but then reflecting on the moments that got away from this team, having double-digit leads in the fourth quarter of 2 games that could have swung your season. Battling, I do give them credit. They battled, and you look at someone like Cam Watson, watching him on Saturday night when there was like no one left in the secondary, and he got banged up a couple times. He goes back out there. So the team had the right attitude. They had, hey, we're going to go out here and leave everything we have. They just had nothing left on Saturday.
Yeah, Devin Dampier was, you said not him. I thought, the turn of the fumble on that last drive in the first half was really big. You're going in to get points. It was 21-9. Now, they missed the field goal at the end of the half, right? But you're going in to get points, and I really felt that okay, even if you kick a field goal, and I know Drzwicki missed a field goal earlier, and I'm not really sure I understood the whole 2-point conversion on the first try. I know they've been doing that a lot this year. Yeah. But so you got 4 points that are laying out there, and then even that right there, let's say you get 3, right?
Yeah, one possession game.
Right. I just, and that fumble was really, really big.
Yeah, it's something pointed out of kind of the moments, and it was similar to early in the year where UNM had chances and then they couldn't overcome it. That was huge. The Leicester from behind, the strip on Devin Dampier. Yeah. It was punch out from behind when they were moving downfield, and then you look at missed opportunities late in the game. The third down conversion on an incomplete pass that the review did not overturn. Still don't know how that happened. But on that same series for Hawaii, Lobos had him 3rd and 16, go route down the sideline, 45-yard completion. And it was moments like that, just that extra play needed to put the momentum back in your favor, to give yourself a chance in that game, and the Lobos couldn't do it.
All right, rough one for football. Interesting one for basketball. Split over the weekend, or split in Palm Springs Thursday, Friday. Lose a really close one, Arizona State, on Thursday night, and beat USC and handled USC for the LA sweep and 2 wins over Big Ten teams. So we're going to get into the hoops and how big that was. Conference play starts this week. High school football champions crowned this weekend. NFL was crazy this weekend. College football was bonkers. I tell you, at least 3, right? Almost got the Georgia Tech one. Michigan, Ohio State sure as hell counts.
Yeah, that was out of nowhere.
Syracuse, Miami,
wasn't
and
on the board.
Syracuse, South Carolina, or South Carolina, Clemson.
Yeah.
At least 3 that you don't think are going to happen. And now, well, I called that one. Okay, all right. And I think a lot of people thought SC was going to win. Boy, how about the 2 pick sixes in that game? We got so much to do. The irony of who controls Ohio State's fate. A big night in the NFL last night in the snow. That went exactly how I saw that one going, too. 505-246-0610. I know you got stuff to talk about coming off of that weekend. I know you do. Bronco Mendenhall scheduled to be with us coming up at 8:30 this morning. Aggie fans, your season ends with a loss to the Miners. That didn't feel good, didn't look good either, especially in the second half. It's the opening drive. Thank you for being here. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here today. Hey, you know how to get to the Albuquerque Convention Center. It's kind of right across the street from us, right downtown, right in the center of it all. You've been to events there? Of course you have. And it was great, wasn't it? Good time, really well handled, presented well. The food was good. The staff was great. You can host your event there as well. If you're thinking about planning an event, if you're the person in charge of whether it's holiday parties or a what do you call it? Reception is the word I'm looking for crying out loud. Anything from 10 people to 20,000 people. They can handle your galas and dances, whatever it is. Right in the heart of downtown, they got diverse spaces at the Albuquerque Convention Center. They'll accommodate anything imaginable, from intimate meetings and gatherings to expos and conferences. They've got the staff. They've got the service. They've got food and beverage options. It all goes above and beyond, and your dream event becomes reality. They've got diverse layouts. Every party planner's desire is handled there. Exterior and interior walls decorated by local art. They've got a parking structure adjacent to the facility, so parking's never an issue. Each year, and we'll do it again this year here in a few weeks, the teams from the Isleta New Mexico Bowl will go and be hosted at the Albuquerque Convention Center. Thursday night, we do a dinner down there. They take care of our players, our guests, the way we need them to be taken care of. They'll take care of yours as well. Take a look at them online, albuquerquecc.com, and then book or just call and get information at 505-768-4575. That's area code 888-668-4575. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. Be at the center of it all.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
You're not as into it as everybody else, huh?
I'm fine with it.
It just wasn't that good of a game.
They get what it is, you're playing in the elements, and Josh Allen can look unbelievable. Everyone else,
all right,
not so much.
How about the play on which he threw and caught a touchdown pass?
Was his forward progress stopped if you're Amari Cooper?
It doesn't matter. I got Josh Allen. It's about time I get a break on my team.
Oh yes,
like it's about freaking time. I'm up by
Poor Josh
13,
Allen.
and he's got Jerry Jeudy tonight. It'd be nice to win once. It was like when I saw that pop up on my, I'm like, holy smokes, really? That's what's happening? Because dude's got James Cook running all over the place. That game went last night exactly as I told you in our 3-for-all. Did it not? In fact, so did the Green Bay Miami game. 3-for-all results over the weekend. You're back on the winning side, 2-1. You took Chicago plus 10 against Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. The final score was 23-20, and Matt Eberflus got fired. Boy, do we got to get there. The worst, and I said it in the moment, that second. Audra looked at me like, really? The worst ever? I said, yes. I said, that is the worst clock management I've ever seen at the end of a football game, and I've watched a lot of football.
Call a timeout.
The worst. And it got the man fired.
Nathaniel Hackett level stuff.
It was
get you fired.
Unbearable. It was
if there was a Manning cast,
bad.
Peyton Manning would have been going timeout.
Next level bad, and that's why he got fired. So you won that game. You had Pittsburgh. They were dogs, huh? If I told you the highest scoring game of the year would involve Pittsburgh's offense with Russell Wilson, would you have told me I'm full?
Let the man cook.
He wins. You win 44-38. You got 3. You got a straight up winner. And then you lost on Houston. You laid 4.5 against Jacksonville. They won by 3. So you lose that game.
They tried to kill Trevor Lawrence, and they still couldn't cover. I am done with the Texans.
Yeah, we got to get there. So you're 2-1 on the week. You're 19-20 on the season. I had a week, dude. I went 3-0. I nailed it. I told you I took the 2 warm weather teams going to freeze their asses off. It felt easy, and it was. It felt easy when we did this on Thursday, and it was. Miami going up to Green Bay where it was 20-something degrees. They were getting 3.5. They lost by 13. Green Bay wins 30-17. I took Buffalo last night laying the 7. It just felt easy, and it was 35-10. And then I took Arizona getting 3.5 because Minnesota only plays close games. Minnesota won by a point. I win. I go 3-0 on the week. JJ, I'm back to a respectable 23-18-1.
That was nice.
Keep
it simple.
Yeah.
This cold weather game is the home team.
Well, especially with Miami.
And Miami, yeah, they have no shot.
I mean, it just felt like stealing in that respect. I don't know where to start on the NFL last night. The Trevor Lawrence thing was brutal. And I look at that and, they said it in the moment. I don't even know what dude was so upset about. That he got the flag, that everybody wanted to kick his ass, that like what was it, Al-Ashir? What was the dude's name that took his head off?
And it's not easy when it comes to quarterbacks. And I think some people are saying, hey, this had to happen because of the quarterbacks that like to fake. And everyone goes, oh, Patrick Mahomes gets those extra yards. Might as well just blow him up. Well, this is what happens when you do.
This isn't, first of all, a dude that likes to fake a lot. And he was clearly in the slide. And you came full force, launched, forearm, body, everything to the head. And damn near, I don't know if you broke his career or not. Dude was not having a good year anyway. And you damn near took his head off, knocked him into next week. I don't know that he plays again. I don't know that they need to throw him out there.
No, he should be done for the season.
Right.
At this point.
It was Aziz Al-Shahir is the guy. What was he so upset about? Like
playing football, man. It's football play.
Was he upset that they all wanted to kick the crap out of him? That they were defending their quarterback? What? I just
well, you're already playing with a couple screws loose. You're an NFL player. You smash a dude, and then you're in the middle of a brawl. Like, I don't expect anyone to be calm, even the dude that hit someone at that point in time.
After the game, he was not in the locker room. Was Al-Shahir? They didn't make him available to the locker room. He's the guy who punched Roshan Johnson of the Bears on the sideline back in week 2. He had a questionable hit earlier in that game on Caleb Williams. He was fined a little under $12,000 for the punch. D'Amico Ryans is the head coach of the Texans. Quote, unfortunate with the hit with Aziz. It's not what we're coaching. Just want to be smart in everything we do and not hurt our team. I didn't want to see the melee and all the aftermath. It's not what we're about. I talked to Aziz and addressed it personally, and we'll move forward, end quote. I mean, it's easy for you to move forward. Your quarterback's fine. He didn't get his head knocked off, and he wasn't laying cold on the field. I want to like D'Amico Ryans. I met him briefly. I liked him. I like the way he's turned that whole culture around down there. He was an unbelievably good, and I say unbelievably good. I kind of mean that as a defensive coordinator with the 49ers. I didn't want to see the melee and all of the aftermath. How about I didn't want to see a hit like that? That's what you didn't. That's what upset you. The melee and the aftermath. The other guys going to bat for their quarterback who was laying motionless on the damn field. That's what bothered you. Like I like D'Amico Ryans, but I didn't. I didn't want to see the hit. Would have been.
You can't throw your own guy under the bus, even if it's a cheap shot.
Okay,
you can't.
So that's the answer. I didn't want to see the melee. Come on.
Okay. Like if I'm D'Amico Ryans, I'd rather have talk show host question me than throwing my own guy.
Fair enough.
Even after a cheap shot.
Fair.
Because we all saw how bad that was. Now it is interesting when you see the reaction from football players because it's what side of the ball are you on? Because there were a lot of football players, NFL dudes on social media last night that weren't as outraged in the bang bang nature of it.
So that's just a bang bang.
Even
play.
Kurt Warner
was
questioning it's been close with these quarterbacks and
look, I
walking that line.
I agree with the guys who say it's close and it's fast. This one in particular was full launch forearm to the head.
Like he was going to hit him regardless. If he was sliding, if he was going forward, like that was heat-seeking missile.
Okay. All right. Steelers beat the Bengals. If I told you again, Steelers would be in the highest scoring game of the year, you'd have told me no way, right? That's something. I'm working on winners and losers. Rams find a way. The Philly Ravens game was really good. Indianapolis, how about Anthony Richardson leading a drive at the end of a game? I know against whom. And damn, New England almost came back with Drake May. They got a 60-yard field goal attempt that just fell short.
68. So that's a question: Hail Mary or 68-yard field goal?
I think you got it better. If your kicker says I can make a 68-yarder and you've seen him do it,
have you seen him do it?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't. If he's got the leg to do it, I mean, if he did it in practice, he's got the leg. I'm going to say I got adrenaline in a game. Let me see him do it.
Cold.
So you feel better throwing a ball up in the air and taking a shot that way. If I've seen my guy do it before.
The percentages might be the same.
Yeah,
at that point.
They're both bad. I mean, I'm not going to get mad at a coach for trying a field goal to win a game. I'm not going to fire him.
It was either, can you make this football to the goalpost, or can Drake May make it to the end zone?
Yeah. Well, you can get it there, kicking it or throwing it, honestly. And we got to get in on the Eberflus thing because it was historically bad. All right, when we get back, can we hit the college game? Did you get up at 6 a.m. to watch Michigan, Ohio State, and Hawaii?
Saw the second half.
What time do you roll over? Like 8 o'clock, roll over and turn it on?
Like, oh, hey.
There's football on it.
Second half of these games.
The sun just came up and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. That was insane. So was the aftermath. Little too much of the aftermath probably this weekend. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Come on in today. 505-246-0610. Thanks for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Center.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The letters afford to have their starting big man, Nelly, play so poorly. Also, UNM can't be so streaky and expect to win against quality opponents. UNM is good, but not good enough to beat top 25 teams. Love my Lobos, but this is a game they absolutely should have won. I think they'll lose tomorrow, meaning against USC, and have to regroup for conference or face what could be a long, average, and disappointing season. UCLA clearly was overrated when we beat them.
I think that's such a classic fan reaction. I think you got to pour on the extra negative reaction because that's the only way to be fair, as long as you're extra negative.
That came in on...
I think the points on basketball, absolutely. Nelly Jr. Joseph,
that night.
If he's not playing well, it's going to hurt your team, as is the second best player on any basketball team. They're a little bit streaky. I don't think they're as good as people expected right now.
What did people expect? That they were going to be undefeated?
That they were going to be better than last year's team.
They might be. They might be. Yeah. They lost to a St. John. And look, they lost. And dude, everybody loses. Yeah, St. John's lost to Georgia and they lost to Baylor. So they went on the road and lost that game, and they lost a 3-point game to Arizona State, who I think is going to be okay in the Big 12, who won that tournament, right? It comes back to, remember, I told you years ago, you can't lose a game. You can't. Now, the 2 wins, if they play well enough the rest of the way, will have them in contention for an at-large when you hit March. Beating SC and UCLA, I think, and let's see what SC and UCLA do. I think UCLA is going to figure it out. SC maybe not as much. Boy, Must's team looked, not like a Must team, huh?
Oh, and especially what St. Mary's did to them.
St. Mary's undressed them the night before. Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. Rudy, how was the weekend?
Boy, what a weekend full of emotion up and down, I know this was Addie's first Michigan-Ohio State game. You guys probably watched it at home, right?
Yeah, I did. It was an unbelievable experience.
Just wait until next year when it's in Ann Arbor. It's really, I've been fortunate enough to be at 4 live Michigan-Ohio State games, including the 100th game between Michigan and Ohio State. And they estimated at that game that there were over 350,000 people within a 2-mile radius of Michigan Stadium.
350,000
just trying to be part of it. You know what I mean? Just trying to be there. So we were in the stadium, and it was the craziest thing. And just watching that game, I kept telling anybody who would listen, don't ever count Michigan out in that game. It reminded me of the 1969 game.
Did you think they were going to win that game? Did you think they were going to? Honestly, you woke up that morning, you thought Michigan was going to win.
Yes, wow. And you know what? I laid a little bet that they would cover. I took Michigan in the points too.
21 points.
But there was just something about the defense all year that I said all they really need to do is step up, and they did. Ohio State could not run the football, and in 22 straight games, the team that wins the rushing game wins the game. And Ryan Day knew that. Mm-hmm. So that's what Day was trying to do. But you could not. Grant and Mason Graham are just unbelievable. Yeah, those guys are NFL pros, and they controlled the whole line of scrimmage, just 2 guys. And that left the linebackers free to clean up.
Yeah, no, that was big. And I'm not going to lie, right? My kid goes to college there. I'm 2-0 in that Michigan hoodie.
Yeah.
And but you don't need to plant your flag on their field, dude. That whole stuff. That whole. I get the hate, but it's got that whole thing's got to stop everywhere.
Let me address that, okay? When Florida State beat Michigan at Michigan Stadium, the Florida State band actually tore up a piece of the turf and took it back to Tallahassee. Okay, when Texas won this year, you didn't see Michigan grabbing their flag. They planted the flag at the middle of the field.
That whole thing's got to stop.
It's
got to stop. Yeah, I think that thing's got out of control. Florida State got out of control with it. It's got to stop. I think
that's ban it. And they're going to ban it, and they probably need to ban it. But trying to blame Michigan for celebrating a victory is, I was pretty mad at Gus Johnson for doing that. Anyway, on to Hawaii.
Yeah, Gus Johnson's call. They didn't cheat this time. How about that?
Yeah, that
was his last call.
Gus Johnson calling world famous really just irks me to the bone. But Hawaii, I've been to that game. That's such a tough place to play. Did you see the locker room that they provided for the visiting teams this year?
I did not. JJ, did you see it?
It's essentially just folding chairs.
Really?
In an open room.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it.
No privacy, nothing. You don't even have a locker for your stuff.
That's what they got.
It's really brutal, but I appreciate how much this team fought all year. And when you got guys that haven't even taken a snap at defensive back, and it was just crazy. The guy was taking 20-yard drops, and, the quarterback was just out of his mind that game, and it's obvious that he'd been practicing in that offense for a while. But that doesn't take anything away from this team, because really at the beginning of the year, not even anybody thought that UNM was going to win 5 games, much less be competing for a bowl game. And I'm sorry it ended that way. I wish they would have had a bowl game.
Yeah.
But and then the final thought about basketball, I've said it before and I'll say it again, and it's true. good teams don't lose 2 games in a row, and they came out and they proved that against USC. I think this is a really good Lobo basketball team, and fans need to take a chill pill. Trying to criticize the team for that loss. Arizona State's got off to a really hot start.
I think they'll be good.
They've got those 2 freshmen are out of the. They're probably one and done guys.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you. I know it was a good weekend for you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Dude, the Michigan, like watching it with my kid. What a totally different world.
Oh, I bet.
What a different world. Like she could, like when it was done, like almost shaking with, like, she's like, Dad, I've never cared this much about a football game. Like, yeah, I get it. It was something else. Hey, Jeff, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Jeff.
Crazy weekend.
Yeah.
Crazy weekend. What about that 7 overtime game?
8. That would be 8 overtimes, and Georgia Tech should have won it about 5 times. Yeah.
I thought for sure early on, like right before regulation, and I mean, I think a lot of people did. I thought Georgia Tech had it, didn't you?
I did when they were up big, and then they had the strip sack. What was it, 20-6 at some point, and they were dominating them. I'm like, yeah, this is gigantic, and Georgia came back and yeah.
Yeah, man, what a game! And I don't want to let this be lost. I want to be mad and I want to be hateful, but I'm actually a little envious and jealous. San Diego State had a huge win
over Houston. That game, and they looked nice over Houston, didn't they?
Dude, nice is like almost an understatement. Those guys look composed. They look like it's true. They just, I don't know if it's reloading or whatever you want to call it, but that team is really well coached, really, really, really disciplined, and the moment didn't look too big for any of those players. So that was, I'm a little envious of that, but hey, you know what? That's the way it goes. As far as UNM football goes, at the beginning of the season, nobody expected us to come down. If you would have said, hey, at the very last game of the season, we're going to be playing for a possible bowl eligibility, we would have been like, no way. And so I was super bummed that freshman quarterback lit us up like a Christmas tree, but I was also super happy to say, man, I didn't expect us to be here, and just to be here is a testament to Bronco and how much he's improved this team, and I really look forward to next season. I think a lot of people should. And as far as Lobo basketball goes, it's just, I think this team's taken, a little time to gel together, and I think Nelly's got to be a little bit more consistent. You can't completely disappear in big games. And so, I think Rudy said, don't lose 2 games in a row. Hopefully we don't win lose every other game, but definitely don't lose 2 in a row. And it should be an interesting conference now that San Diego State had that statement win.
Yeah, no, there were some big wins over the weekend. All right, man, good to hear you. Thanks. San Diego State beat Houston 73-70 in overtime. Houston was ranked number 6 in the country. And this, JJ, the last, so you got for the league, and this matters, right, as you go through it. San Diego State got wins over Houston and Creighton, who was ranked 21st. They lost to Oregon. That was on Saturday is when they beat Houston. Colorado State got a win over TCU out of the Big Ten, 76-72. UNLV loses to Northwestern out of the Big Ten, 66-61. That was in Arizona in the 3rd place game. On Thursday, UNLV lost to Mississippi State. Chris Jans put it on. Did you watch any of that?
They looked really good.
Chris Jans, yeah. Mississippi State looked really nice. Utah State did beat St. Bonaventure, 72-67. Washington State lost to Colorado State lost to Washington, 73-67. This was all Thursday. That was the same night that the Lobos lost to Arizona State. And then on Wednesday, since last time we saw you, Wyoming lost a tight one in the Cancun Challenge to Loyola Marymount, who actually looked really nice. Cal Baptist beat Fresno State, which is a tough loss. That was the day Oregon beat San Diego State and Sacramento State beat Air Force. Wednesday was not a good day for the league. So there's a few good wins out there that you're relying on in in March, right? And you're hoping, Northwestern gets better and Oregon's better and certainly Houston and all those things. But it was an interesting weekend in college basketball, and certainly for the league, right? As you go through this thing, and we're gonna get to March, and you're gonna talk about strength of schedule. JJ, I want to get into what Dan Hurley said about I'm never going to a 3-team MTE again. because, well, they got beat
because he can't handle his emotions.
Because he flat out can't. Aggies lose to Bowling Green 61-60. That was in the Arizona tip-off third place game after losing to Pepperdine 82-70. So they had a couple of losses whilst we were gone. All right, I do want to get into some more of the college football. 505-246-0610. Bronco Mendenhall due with us at 8:30 this morning. Looking forward to talking to the Lobo football coach. That'll be at 8:30 this morning. Hey, holiday gift time. If you're looking for that wow gift, if you're looking for maybe an engagement ring, an anniversary gift, fine jewelry, it's got to be John Thomas Jewelers. It's the only place it's the most unique, most amazing jewelry store that I've been in. They've got over 3,000 ladies and men's bridal rings. You can just go in there and try them on. They've got the only free lifetime nationwide warranty that you can get here in Albuquerque. And they got the ability to custom make any ring that you can dream of, or even stuff you can't dream of. They'll help you. And they do it all right there on premises in their state-of-the-art design center. So whether it's an engagement ring to wow her with an amazing anniversary gift, it's a holiday present she'll never forget, you got to stop by John Thomas Jewelers. They are the only 5-star Google-rated full-service jewelry store in town, the fastest growing jeweler in New Mexico for 3 straight years, and voted best jeweler in Albuquerque for 4 straight years. They were even voted America's coolest jewelry store by In-Store Magazine. They are pretty darn cool, and you got to want to get there. You're not going to just pass them in the mall. You got to go to the 3rd floor of the university, or Lewis University building. It's right across the street, right across Louisiana to the east, south of Manal, in the Lewis University building, 3rd floor, 2440 Louisiana Northeast, Suite 10. John Thomas Jewelers. Check them out online at johnthomasjewelers.com and then go buy that wow gift for the holidays.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie, and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as Red and Green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
So much more important things that have to stop than plant plague and like paying mercenaries. All right. One thing that's not going to stop is paying players. One thing that might stop is trying to plant your flag in the middle of an opponent's field and starting a brawl. I don't know. I mean,
I think that's going to come really up there on the fine list, along with storming the field and tearing down the goalposts.
They each got a $100,000 fine, did both schools. It's going to be interesting when how far does Ohio State fall, in your opinion, in the college football playoff rankings? I mean, they're not getting a bye because they're not going to win their league championship. What is going on here? I can't click on anything. Do they fall out of getting a home game?
What were the last rankings?
So here. Before this AP.
I don't need the AP.
Yeah, I just can't. They were 2. So, or it's going to be Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notre Dame cannot get a bye. So Miami was 6. They drop. So how far do they drop? Do they drop behind Miami? Tennessee moves up. SMU moves up. Do they drop behind Indiana? They beat Indiana.
No, they shouldn't.
Okay.
They shouldn't.
So they'll probably go to 8 or 9 and get a home game, right? Boise State may end up having to go there, by the way. No, Boise State will get a bye. They'll play Boise State in the next round. Do you find it ironic? Do you know who the chair of the College Football Playoff Committee is? The guy that you see every Tuesday having to talk to Reese Davis and those guys after the rankings come out. Do you know who it is? Ward Manuel, the Michigan athletic director, is the chair of the College Football Playoff Committee. And one of the biggest conversations this week will be the fate of their arch rival, whom they just had a fight with on the field after beating. Now, I know...
SMU's in position to get a bye then, right? If they win their conference championship?
If they win their conference championship, SMU is in a position to get a bye.
They'd bump Boise State for sure.
Well, I think they'll be with Boise State. The issue is the Big 12 champion. Who's going to get the bye there? Arizona State or Iowa State?
Yeah.
And if it's Arizona State or
SMU and Boise State with byes,
you could have SMU and Boise State with byes. Yeah, SMU played in the New Mexico Bowl 2 years ago.
Wow, what a springboard for them!
Isn't that crazy? So yeah, it's going to be Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, and then does Georgia move up to 5? I guess so, right? I mean, they won, and 2 teams in front of them lost. So how Georgia, then Tennessee? Tennessee's not playing in their championship game. Do you have SMU ahead of Ohio State and then Ohio State? So they'll be 8th. They'll host the last. They'll be the last one to host, basically the 8-9 game. I mean, it's crazy. And it might be they host Indiana. Do you drop Miami completely out? They're not even in their conference championship game. Do they fall all the way out of the rankings? Out of the top 12? How far do they drop? I mean, you got to drop them under Indiana, right? Boise State moves up to 10.
I think the teams that don't make their conference championship game should be on the outside.
All right, Clemson's got to drop, but they're going to be in the championship game. Alabama's getting in the playoff, aren't they?
Because I think
Alabama's getting the last spot, aren't they?
I don't. It almost feels like if you make your conference championship game, you should feel good because I don't think you should be penalized for losing that game.
All right, what if you're Clemson? Clemson's got 3 losses, just lost to South Carolina. South Carolina's got to be ahead of Clemson. Clemson's going to drop down to about 16 or 17.
Because you shouldn't be rewarded because a team had an extra loss because they were in a championship game.
You should, okay. The teams that would...
But if there's...
Here's the teams who would get hurt. Georgia or Texas. Texas won't get hurt because they're 10-1. Georgia would get their 3rd loss if they lose. Georgia would be one of those teams who would be penalized. I don't think they get penalized, okay? In the SEC, that's in the SEC. In the Big Ten, both teams are in. Penn State and Oregon are both in no matter who loses. They're in, okay? Those are the only 2. In the Big 12, Arizona State and Iowa State are playing for 1 spot.
Yes.
The loser isn't getting in. In the ACC, if Clemson loses, that's their 4th loss. That's their 3rd loss. They're not getting. That'll be their 4th loss. That'd be their 4th loss.
That's if it's pushing you over. I definitely think it's a tougher conversation because yes, at some point in time you have to win. You got to win these games.
Yeah, the Clemson it wouldn't get in if they don't win. The issue is, will SMU get in if they lose?
Like what, the 3-loss Bama sitting there versus a 2-loss SMU if they don't win their championship.
Yeah. That's going to be where the issue is. It's going to be something else to watch this thing come down. It really is. How far would you drop Ohio State? What was your favorite game of the weekend? Was it Michigan, Ohio State? Was it Georgia Tech and Georgia going 4 overtimes? South Carolina beating Clemson? You see Colorado State come back big. They were down 30-13 on Utah State. Strip sack, interception, turnovers. There were some good ones. SC and Notre Dame, 2 full run of the field pick sixes. 505-246-0610. I want to hear from you, Bronco Mendenhall at 10:30, at 8:30 this morning on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, crazy weekend in college football. Big one in the NFL as well. High school football, congratulations to the La Cueva Bears, the big school state football champion. I'm sorry, the Cleveland Storm. They beat the La Cueva Bears 26-8. Cleveland beats La Cueva 26-8. Roswell wins the 5A championship 41-22 over Artesia. Bloomfield with a big second half beat St. Pius 62-28. St. Mike's is the state champ. Texaco is the state champ. They beat Santa Rosa by the Mercy Rule 50-0. Congratulations to all of them. It was a fun high school football season. Now the hoops is underway. Lobos on the road in football in Hawaii on Saturday night. Late lose 38-30. Micah Alejandro. It's fun listening to the Hawaiian. Alejandro. It went for 469 yards in his first collegiate start. Threw for 4 touchdowns. Lobos. Errors in the first half. Yeah, he's going to be good, huh? Is he staying there? That's
the next question with anyone that looks good
Anybody.
At any school across the United States in Division I.
Anywhere.
Athletics.
Yeah, anywhere. Crazy football on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yesterday, the Bills in the snow last night beat the 49ers 35-10. The Bills capture the title in the AFC East. Steelers over the Bengals 44-38. Are we done with the Bengals yet, by the way?
Yeah, they're 4-8.
Yeah, can we be done with them now? It was crazy because the next game I'm going to tell you about is the Vikings beating the Cardinals 23-22, and they slipped by. And we talk about the Cardinals and the Vikings. I'm sorry, about the Chiefs and the Vikings in a way. Well, yeah, they're only winning by a point. Yeah, you know what though? I'd rather win by a point or 2 points or not cover the damn spread than have everybody tell me how damn good the offense is. Oh, and they look great and be 4-8 like the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, you need to win football games. In Cincinnati, there was something there to talk about for a little bit because you compare them to the teams that they were in the race against. Miami, Indianapolis.
Chargers
are well ahead of them now, 8-4.
Now they are.
Broncos have a chance to go to 8-5 tonight on Monday Night Football against the Cleveland Browns. But it's because you're seeing something that, all right, Joe Burrow, that offense, putting up fantastic numbers defensively, they're not good. And that's killed them. That's why a 4-8 football team.
Horrible defensively, in fact. Yeah, there was a strip sack, a defensive touchdown for the Steelers. But the Steelers put up 44 points in in that win yesterday. 44 by the Pittsburgh Steelers to improve to 9-3, which was a huge win. The Steelers' previous weeks, 19, 18, 28, 26. Damn, I didn't realize they put up 37 against the Jets. No, 32 against the Raiders. Not as bad as I thought. But damn, can we be done with the Bengals? Big win for Seattle. The Jets, the Jets should be thanking the Bears right now for being a bigger mess than they are. But at 3-9, Aaron Rodgers looks, and there's every quarterback at some point that gets to that level. Every quarterback in the NFL can make a couple of throws and look really good, right? You know, he threw the fade to Devontae Adams and looked like old school, vintage Rodgers to Adams touchdown pass, and all right, yeah. And then he started to look like a 40-year-old dude coming off an Achilles. And the talk of him playing next year, I keep telling you this. It's become apparent the Jets don't want him. I don't know where he fits. I don't know how somebody says we need a quarterback this year and we want to bring that in. I firmly believe this is it. He'll tell you it was his decision, and that's fine. He's earned the right to go out on his terms, I imagine, JJ. But you tell me where you see that guy, A, being good enough to help a team next year, and somebody saying, yeah, I want that.
Never say never.
Okay.
It would be a Las Vegas situation. Say a team maybe swings and misses on the draft, and then what were they coming into the season with? Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Now this would be, does Aaron Rodgers just want to play football to go to a situation like that?
Why?
Maybe. Why I don't know. Why does anyone do what they do?
I think
if he wants to play football, that would be the only situation. It wouldn't be, hey, we're giving up a lot and power and this and that to bring Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and I guess another $40 million doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah, that ship has sailed. So you're asking, what situation would it be? That's the only thing I could see is the franchise just swung and missed in the offseason. They're like, well, why don't we do this for a year?
Yeah, I just don't see them doing that. Especially the way it all worked out with the Jets. See, why do you do it? I think he went here in large part. He got $100 and something million for 2 years. It's pretty good gelt. But he was also ring chasing, right?
Yeah, they thought this was more plug and play. They got a defense. They won 7 games last year with Zach Wilson and Mike White and all this mess at quarterback. And you figure, all right, Aaron Rodgers coming back, play a football team, and it's been a disaster.
Yeah, it's been as bad as you could have imagined it being. And I can't sit here and blame a guy for blowing out his Achilles, right? I mean, that sucked. Now, how do you handle that? How do you come back from it? You got everything you ever wanted. Everybody's been fired but you, and you were coming. And he had the opportunity yesterday. It's total Aaron Rodgers. All right, down 26-21, and Rodgers has the ball. And here, you never thought he was going to beat Seattle last night, did you? Or yesterday? When they had the ball, he got the ball back at the last drive.
Doesn't have
there
that
it is.
You're right. Mine is the 0.00.
Yeah, I get it.
1% chance. Everyone asking, why would he play? Who would want him? What would be a scenario like that? There's no team that's going to feel like, hey, we need Aaron Rodgers at this point.
Is he on Fox? What networks is he calling games on?
I don't think he's calling games. I think he's doing podcasts. He's doing McAfee show.
Yeah. Kind of a show.
I don't think that's a platform that fits what he wants to talk about at all.
No, fair enough. All right, I think I got my college football playoff ranking. Here's how I fact check me on this. Here's how I would go with this. 1, 2, 3, 4 is easy. It's Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame. But Notre Dame can't get a bye because they don't win a championship, and only one of Oregon or Penn State can get a bye because they're in the same league, and only one will win a championship. Okay, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame. I think Georgia goes to 5. Okay. I don't know how you move Tennessee down, even though they're not playing in the SEC championship. I got Tennessee at 6. I move SMU to 7. And then I think I dropped that. That's where I have Ohio State fallen to, is 8. So after Tennessee at SMU, I got them at 8 because they're after SMU. I can't put Indiana ahead of them because they beat Indiana. So Indiana at 9, Boise State at 10. And then Miami fall to 11. I got Alabama at 12. South Carolina 13, Arizona State 14, Ole Miss 15, Clemson, Iowa State, Missouri, UNLV. So the bracket then, your bye teams would be Oregon is the 1 seed, Texas is the 2 seed. SMU is the 3 seed and Boise State is the 4 seed. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's where we're sitting right now.
And then the Arizona State, Iowa State winner jumps over someone. I don't know how Alabama's not getting in. I mean, if they end up sitting at 11, well, I got them at 11. So who would you have higher, Miami or Alabama right now? Alabama's got 3 losses. Miami's got 2. It may come down to that for the final spot.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't look at strength of schedule in that.
No. Alabama's losses were to Vanderbilt, Tennessee, who's going to be ranked number 5 or 6, and Oklahoma, who's 6 and 6. So they lost to 2 6 and 6 teams.
I think Miami.
But they beat Georgia, who's going to be number 5, and they beat Tennessee, who's going to be number 6. Right? So they got two really good wins, 2 not good losses. Miami's best win is, they beat nobody in the rankings. They beat nobody that will be ranked. They lost to a Georgia Tech team of 7-5 and Syracuse is 8-4.
How should that be handled?
I don't know, dude.
Because when you beat someone or what they are at the end of the season?
Well, it's really fair, but if you're comparing schedules, there's no comparison. Yeah. Alabama's schedule was way tougher.
Alabama's saying, that's what Lane Kiffin's saying, that's what Illinois
I got Ole Miss
saying.
knocking on the door too, by the way.
Like, that's what these schools are saying. Oh, by the way, if we're going to do this, then we are in the Big Ten and SEC.
We got to win games, though. Now, Miami would have, no gripe. If they'd have beat Syracuse, they were in.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They lost to a Georgia Tech team who I think is pretty good. Damn near beat Georgia, but they're 7-5. That's where it's going to come down to who's ranked higher. I do, right behind Boise State. Because I think you've got to throw South Carolina in there too. South Carolina is going to be 9-3 with wins over. Or they lost to Ole Miss, LSU, and Alabama, but they've got wins over A&M, Vanderbilt, Missouri, all who are in your poll, and Clemson. Look, it's going to be something. All right. I got a request to pull out the Mountain West over-under totals, you, me, and Stig, that we did back on August 23rd. So I will pull those out. Bronco Mendenhall is scheduled to be with us coming up at 8:30 this morning. We'll talk a little about football, Coach. If you've been the victim of a property crime or you know someone, it takes a long, long time, not even days, for police to respond. They just don't have enough officers to cover all the calls they get. But when it's you or when it's someone you love, you need a quick response. How about 7 minutes or less? That's typically the response time for customers of International Protective Service, IPS. They've got officers strategically placed all around Albuquerque, now in Santa Fe, and they react quickly. Many times they catch the criminals in the act, they detain them, and the police come and pick them up. IPS also provides standing guards if you need eyes on your property around the clock. They will install alarms and camera systems, and they have a state-of-the-art facility that monitors those cameras 24/7 to raise the level of security around your home and or your business. I've trusted IPS for years. They come by my house every single day. When I travel, they ask, can I pick up newspapers, packages, roll the garbage cans to the curb and back. They do exterior checks. Who's watching your home when you're gone? Make sure it's the good guys, especially this time of year. Don't wait to be a victim. Call IPS. Be proactive. Have them protect what you've worked so hard to build. The number is 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS, passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service. Great.
Because I got an email on this asking for these, JJ. Dan says Megabuck LaCueva equals Bobby Scorley. That's what he calls Bobby Hurley. Remember a caller said LaCueva talked trash after the win to get back at the Phoenix Pinnacle, who was doing it during the game? Why was either allowed to happen? Where were the useless refs? Just like Bobby Scorley should have been thrown out of the Maui built the minute he started his antics. It's from Dan. P.S. When do we get Mountain West Conference over-unders to find out Stigma won? You think we can get him in here for a 9 o'clock segment? One of us was historically bad.
Dude, it was not good.
One of us broke 500.
That was not good.
One of us.
It was not a banner year for the league, and swing and a miss.
For certainly a huge, gigantic swing and a miss for one of us. You think he'll come in and do that? I'll go down to the sales suite and see if See if we can do that. 505-246-0610. Emails are coming in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. This is it's from John on the text. On the text line. Good morning, fellas. Yeah, I'm semi-bummed out this morning. Sad loss for Lobo football. 38-30 in Hawaii. Oh, well, 5-7 for the season. I believe that Aaron Rodgers would be a perfect fit to the Denver Broncos. Just saying Bo Nix would be his backup. Sound good? Thanks, fellas. No, it sounds horrible. But
sounds terrible.
Why would Bo Nix?
That sounds awful.
Bo Nix is a better quarterback to me right now than Aaron Rodgers is. If you ask me, go win a game this weekend, who you want?
Bo Nix has actually put himself in position where you could say, "Hey, could this guy get a vote for Offensive Rookie of the Year?"
Yeah. No, I think you got a franchise quarterback in the making. I don't need to bring that guy in to screw that whole thing up. This one says, congratulations to the Cleveland Storm football team, TEAM and Capitals. They quietly developed all season long and went in and shut down the team many felt were unbeatable. Nice of you to come in from the break announcing La Cueva's champions. How sports animal of you. Had La Cueva won, you'd had half the team on the Sporting and be proclaiming the dynasty. You know, I made a mistake. Like I was staring at a thing, and I corrected it like immediately. Didn't I? I did. I did come in and say, look, and I was looking down at something else, and I made a mistake and corrected it immediately. How sports animal of you. What does that even mean? Whatever, man. Congratulations to Cleveland. That was kind of the point. And how you to do that. How about that? Dan Hurley, when you lose, say little. When you win, say less. His meltdown during and after the Colorado loss, where he fell to his knees, he looked and sounded like a clown. Only fitting a huge dose of humble pie was then served up by Dayton. It's a week-to-week league. UConn went 0-3 in Maui. They lost the first one. That was that big controversy. Who beat them that day? Then they lost. When they lost 3, I'll tell you who it was. I mean, there was so much basketball over the weekend. Seriously.
It's so sports animal of you. I'm going to use that all the time now. Thank you. It was Memphis.
It was, right? Memphis beat them?
Memphis, Colorado, Dayton.
Okay.
I can't believe it. Man, that's so good.
That was so sports animal of you?
So sports animal of you.
I know. But yet you're listening. I appreciate that. I don't even know what that means. Do you?
It gets the people going.
Yeah. Dan Hurley said he will never go back to one of those MTEs, a 3-team or a 3-game MTE. That, not as long as he's there, and it's. And I'll tell you this: there is a trend of going to 2-team tournaments, like 2-game tournaments, like the Lobos just played in. These 2-day tournaments instead of 3. That is now the trend. So when you see that happening, please be aware that happened before Danny Hurley's blow-ups this week. That it wasn't initiated by him. That is the trend. Okay. I'm certain he wouldn't have had that feeling had they won 3 games. I want to like Dan Hurley. This was such a bad look
week.
This week for him.
It was worse when you look back on it and the way he handled it over the blow-ups and then just people going, yeah, you know what? This is actually more who he is than just a bad moment in time in an MTE. Terrible for UConn. We're talking back-to-back national champs.
Yeah, and that's how good of a coach he is in a program that is.
Back-to-back national champs in this era of college athletics.
Right.
And to be, it was almost like he had like a midlife crisis, like a meltdown, like for this guy that's handled the pressure and championships and just lost it and went off the deep end. For Hurley, it's kind of like, all right, get out the MTE stuff. The only thing he said that I did like, he's like, let's do it then. He's like, I want to schedule home and homes. Let's go. I do think college basketball is missing that. I understand that these tournaments are important because it provides programs opportunities that they don't get because teams don't schedule home and homes. But I also think it's what it does. It's kind of reinforcing that college basketball doesn't matter for half the season because you have to go play in empty arenas in Florida or in California to get games. And at some point in time, it's not changing. But I know Robbie Hummel was watching one of the broadcasts, and he was talking about it. He's like, yeah, I get it. We have these tournaments, but you lose college basketball 100%. For half a season just because you're playing in arenas with 75 people in them.
Yeah, and you've been in them, and I've been in them too. And look, I remember going to the Vegas tournament a couple of years ago, and I mean, honestly, there couldn't have been 100 people in there for that New Mexico.
And it's like you guys are that scared to play true road games.
Yes,
like,
no, they are. They
are.
They're
flat that scared to play true road games. So it's like we got to get this neutral site game in this venue. All right, you're making some money off it, but it's like okay, it's echoing throughout an empty arena.
I'll give you this: it gives you some really good matchups.
Yes,
New Mexico, Arizona State one night, and then you get either St. Mary's or SC the next night.
You have to do it because
watching with San Diego State, you just have to go through Creighton and Oregon and Houston. You probably wouldn't get that unless you were all in the same place, right? So you are getting really good matchups. Like the last 2 weeks of college basketball have been terrific.
Yes,
and then we got the best coach in the game telling you how bad it is.
I wish there was more balance to it.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have to have all these tournaments.
Yeah, I want to talk about this more when we come back. We're scheduled to talk to Bronco Mendenhall, Lobo football coach, with us when we return. Talk to him about the season in a recap, and did he get to enjoy what they accomplished? And I hope he did. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as Red and Green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain.
Ending streaks, teams that had been beating you for the last, pick it, how many years? Decade, right? And what San Diego State, I think, was back to 2008. So many really good moments, numbers, individual numbers, a season of progress and a foundation laying for Lobo football. They lose 38-30, come up short in Hawaii. Bronco Mendenhall is the head coach at the University of New Mexico. And with a season of so much promise and so much success and so much to celebrate, knocking down walls, he joins us this morning. Get rid of that one. Sorry about that. I'm new at this. Good morning, Bronco. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good. I apologize about that. Tough one. And I know you went out there and this meant so much to you. Slow start, a quarterback for them that was really hot. And I know you're not looking to make excuses, but I think the story needs to be told as well. You go out there without most of your defensive line. You got a freshman receiver playing defensive back, and it was a tough night on the island.
It was. We, having said all that, we planned, we prepared for that. We believed it would come down to a last possession game, which it did. And, yeah, in this case, didn't recover an onside kick. I needed to stop them, use our timeouts appropriately, and hopefully get the ball back, and we didn't. But that's the game we prepared for. And, one game short of postseason, which we were planning on, which is what I know, what I expect, and our team does as well. And so progress, but a tough loss.
When you reflected, and I don't know whether it was, on the plane, 8 hours coming home, or when you put your head on the pillow or whenever, did you allow yourself to celebrate the success and the advances, or I know, so often we just let the ones that got away, what engulfed your mind more, the Montana State, Wyoming, the ones that got away, or the progress and the positive things that you guys accomplished this year?
I don't think it's exclusively either. I think it's all one picture. And really that didn't happen until really beginning this morning to just kind of allow and process. So we'll have our season-ending team meeting today. And so as I'm just framing and considering messaging to the team, that's the first time where without an opponent to prepare for, not without being kind of just in context of the season, which is a completely different place to go mentally. There's some reflection happening now. Moments that got away, other moments to celebrate that we captured, and just looking exactly where we fit in the landscape of the Mountain West of college football, enhancements to make, improvements that have happened. And so that's just kind of beginning this morning.
Coach, when you look at the process for the players and all the work that was put in over the summer into the fall, what stands out to you about how this group bought into what you wanted them to do this year?
Yeah, I'll take it all the way back to almost this time a year ago, starting in December in the off season, and then really beginning in January when I arrived in the context of staff and our true training. And they chose early on to accept and believe that this team, this staff, this program is capable of doing more. They almost matter-of-factly just checked that off the list really early, and so they have been willing and eager hopeful and optimistic to do really anything we've asked them to do. And from our standpoint, and my standpoint as a leader, it's really played out about exactly as we presented to them, that they would have a chance in every game right down to the very last possession, that we'd have a great chance to be in postseason, that we would battle with anyone in our league right from the first year on. And that's what has happened, which is then where trust and credibility, right, is established over time, and trust is established. But they chose to accelerate that process. Again, we're not perfect, but it's clear the trajectory.
Of course, there's so many pieces to this puzzle, from the players to the coaching staff. And you look at what both offensive and defensive coaches did this season. The plan with Devin Dampier, defense, just finding moments late in the season. When you look at your staff, what did you see from them this year?
Gosh, I think from all of us, right, there's a process every year of truly discovering who your team is, right? And that you'd love to say that happens before the season starts. And we work as hard as we can for that to happen. But the process of discovery was accelerated. Again, when I took over at Virginia, gosh, that first year was 2-10. Our process of discovery was much slower. We accelerated that at a much higher level. We adapted and adjusted it and improvised at a much higher level and more accurately sooner, which gave us a chance for more success in the first season.
Lobo football coach Bronco Mendenhall is with us on the Sports Animal. You talked about early on the players decided that they wanted this program to be at a certain level. Was there a moment that clicked? Because I'm going to guess you didn't just walk in and everybody bought it right away, or maybe they did. Was there a moment for you that stands out where, hey, they're starting to get it?
That's a really good question. I think our lives, as well as any given season, is a combination of those moments, and ultimately a handful kind of defines, trajectory and outcome. I can't say really until the season began and that we were into it. And I think Utah State, that win on the road, and we came back. I can't say they hadn't bought in before then, but I think they sensed and understood what they had been doing, how they had been doing it, was going to allow them to do things that hadn't been done in a while. And I'm talking about road wins, significant deficits they're coming back from, hostile environments, and a team that just keeps playing, which you can't blow this team out, right? This is, and in any Mountain West team, a game we play, we already in possession game. And for the fans, for the team, for anyone that's watching, when you're preparing every week, knowing you have a chance with the ball or to make a stop to win the game, that's a completely different belief system than wondering if. And I think the Utah State game helped them just have a tangible result from, a pretty large deficit at a place they hadn't won for a while, or we hadn't won for a while. And I can't say that's a defining moment, but I think it was an important.
Yeah. You, like every coach in the country now, has to look forward. I know Bill Belichick once said there's no days off in your profession. That's probably true. What's the process? Maybe it's already started. What is the process, and when does it start to re-recruit your roster? I know you've been out recruiting, but now you got to kind of, and without getting into specifics unless you want to, re-recruiting the guys who are here and start looking forward.
Yeah, really a different time in college football. You didn't really have to ever re-recruit your roster. For most of my career, that changed once the transfer portal and NIL has entered this space. And really that space looks now like what the coaching space looked like. And so, as you know, for a long, long time, and even currently they have called it the coaching carousel, right? Where coaches are fired, coaches are hired, all this movement happens. And that had been exclusively for coaches at the college ranks for a long time. Well, now that's for rosters in addition to leadership. And so I have meetings starting tomorrow with existing players on our team, which happens as part of, yearly exit interviews after the season. So our position coaches will meet with their players, right? The players will know where they stand. Some will be encouraged to stay. Some will be told, gosh, you probably won't have a role here. You might want to consider looking. Others have already been excused from the program. Others will be hopefully retained. And now retainment is a unique challenge because that takes resources, right? And that's where collective and NIL and those things really becomes a factor. Same for coaches. And so really so many rosters right now will be transformed. And at the group of 5 level, the average is between about 45 and 60 players per year. Of college football rosters, and what that takes is a significant challenge. And so that process, again, begins starting tomorrow after our team meeting today. And yes, that's not only with players, that's with coaches. So entire organizations literally can transform within a year.
Bronco, what's the relationship that you're permitted as a staff to have with the collective?
Yeah. So we can have a very strong partnership with the collective, which we do, and each program kind of chooses to do it differently. There's a level that most head coaches choose, a level of separation that most head coaches choose to keep from the collective when it comes to the actual deal making, in terms of the construction of the plan, in terms of the architecture, and possibly the prioritization and rankings. Most head coaches significantly design that. And then, right, the collective and those pieces kind of take over and then work the actual presentation of the offer, et cetera. Each coach can do that differently, and it's so poorly regulated, and no one, quite frankly, knows where the true rules and boundaries are. And for those that say they do are quite frankly just not telling the truth. And so you operate with the strongest morals possible to do the very best you can, but also you need to maintain your culture, and there's not a disproportionate separation between the haves and the have-nots, right? And that has to be understood. If someone has, how come? And if they don't, how come? So there's not just random deals being thrown, but it has to be really sequential, process-driven, to where it actually brings the team together, where they know they can accomplish if they hit these markers rather than just an arbitrary number that's hit because, possibly through favoritism or anything else. That can actually destroy rosters, and it has, as you're watching college football around the country.
No, Coach, obviously with your time that you had before you came back to coaching, this was stuff you talked about, this is stuff you thought about before getting back in. So is this a process that, does it excite you to take on this off-season challenge that's new for you? How do you view it about what's ahead?
It's a really good point. I had a lot of time, and as I did my podcast and visited with so many of my peers and colleagues that I've known for years, it was their most frustrated and their least favorite part. And it's really not because of the relationship with the players, but it was the other entities they'd have to deal with along the way. And that in and of itself became really frustrated because, again, it was, I'd love to say this is still amateur sport, but every coach out there knows once it gets to that point, this is professional in terms of, right, either negotiation, arbitration, dollar amount that I'll stay if, and I'll go if not, and those kind of things. And that's really a challenging context for coach to young person. That's where the collective or someone else in between can provide a buffer. My challenge, and what we've done a really nice job of to this point, it's more challenging each year, as I've seen already, is keeping our culture really strong and players having to qualify and battle to then become and then be rewarded, right? And those principles drive real-life principles rather than here's, massive amounts on the front end before anything's done, and here's your existing team, wondering how come this person can come in and get 100%. This. We've been battling for a year, and where that doesn't seem right. So there's a moral component to this to me, and a teaching component that has to be embedded if you're truly interested in the development of young people. Now, some, right, and let's face it, it's a results-oriented business, and so some aren't concerned about that, and they just know the bottom line is winning, and they're going to pursue that no matter what. The administration at that school wants it. The fan base knows the outcome is everything, and so there's plenty of approaches that work. My approach requires more and more depth, and so that's who I am as a leader, and I'm working as hard as I can to make sure that it happens.
Yeah, I think a lot of people appreciate that. All right, how would you sum up this season for Lobo Fan? Lobo Fan says, Coach, what do you think of the season? The season was what?
Oh, man, progress, optimism, hope abounds, and one drive short from postseason, but the best is yet to come.
I want to thank you for the time you spent with us on Monday mornings. Really, really appreciate your candor, your willingness to speak with us, and I know Lobo Fan really, really appreciates it. Every Monday morning throughout the season, win or loss, or bye week, you spent some time with us, and really, really sincerely appreciate the conversation and the relationship. Happy holidays to you, to your family, and congratulations on the start of what should be something really, really big here with Lobo Football. Bronco, thank you very much.
Same. I appreciate the opportunity.
Be well. We'll catch up with you soon. Happy holidays.
Okay. Thank you.
Take care. Bronco Mendenhall, the head football coach at the University of New Mexico. That conversation was sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Personal care and the attention you deserve for your legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today. It's a cerebral, different, mature, nurturing approach, right? And I think just about everybody appreciates it. And you can't argue there was progress. Yeah, they were one game better than they were the year before if you're just looking at wins and losses, right? I didn't want to get into specifics, but obviously re-recruitment's a big issue.
Absolutely. It's what you got to do this time of year.
There was one thing in there that he said that really, 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 really you need to look out for. It was 3 words. Next on the opening drive. A 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by PayPal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com.
This is a great interview with head coach Mendenhall. He said it's so good. The best is yet to come for his UNM Lobos football. Thanks, Jeff and JJ. So there are a number of things in there. And, I'm really interested in the process of re-recruiting and the business side of it. But JJ, he talked about the resources, and he said how it's changed and how it's very different than it's been in his career. And he said, it's to maintain some players, it's going to take resources. And then he said, 3 words. He said, same 4 coaches. And I'm not sure how that resonated with many. I know that he's going to need to find money to keep Jason Beck. That, Fernando Lovo, the new athletic director who starts today, is going to have to help him with resources. But to keep your offensive coordinator, Jason Beck, and I don't know that I don't know that you're going to keep Devin Dampier, and I hope you are. I'm not going to tell you I think he's gone because I know that there's resources that are dedicated to keep him, significant resources. But I also know that one of the biggest pieces, if not the biggest piece of his development, was the scheme and what Jason Beck and that offensive staff did. And so when he said same 4 coaches, it's not, we talk about resources in a program, man. It is not only about NIL for players, although it is quite a bit about NIL for players. You've got to have the resources to keep staffs in place.
No doubt about it. It's going to be a hot commodity, the OC.
And, you heard the rumor last week, and I think Utah State is going to make a decision on their head coach this week. Nate Dreiling, I don't know that anything was decided because of that game on Saturday. He was an interim coach all year. Blake Anderson was let go right before media day, and Nate Dreiling, the former defensive coordinator at New Mexico State, 33-year-old, took over, and they won 3 games this year. And you heard the rumor out there that Bronco they had interviewed Bronco, or they were interested in Bronco for the job at Utah State. Now, is that a better job? You got to decide that. I don't know. You got to decide if that even becomes an issue. I don't know. I think, one of the first things that Fernando Lovo has to do when he hits his office an hour ago, or whenever it was, is develop a very strong relationship with his head football coach and his men's basketball coach.
No doubt about it.
Quickly, immediately, prioritize. Because you've got 2 guys who would be very attractive anywhere, right? I mean, almost anywhere, Richard Pitino and Bronco Mendenhall. And they're both in redefined leagues, JJ. Both of them are kind of in different positions than they signed up for. And you've got to develop a relationship and make it worth their while to stay. That's got to be priority number 1. All right, when we come back, I'm interested in this. How'd we do? Back on August 23rd, JJ, me, and Stig looked at the Vegas over-unders on Mountain West football in New Mexico State. Picked them, put them away. Season's over. How'd we do? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfasfa.org. That's nmfasfa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
Phone calls and emails and texts and correspondence in a moment. But so back on August 23rd, JJ, what's today? December. So that's almost 4 full months ago. You and me and Great American Stigalo sat here. Hi, Stig.
Hi.
And we do this, like we've done this for a number of years now. We just we take Vegas's win totals.
I'm probably going to stop.
You're not going to do this anymore?
Either that, or I'm just going to, make my pick and then just choose the other one.
So we're not very good at it, and I think one of the reasons we do this is kind of like we do the three for all to show how hard betting is. You know, JJ's 19-20 on the NFL season. I'm 23-18-1 after a 3-0 week. So this is how hard it is. And we do it after JJ and I go to Vegas and talk to all these coaches, and we come back and, everybody's going to be great. You didn't do that well.
I should have gone to Vegas with you.
Yeah, probably.
For many reasons.
Yeah, probably.
but this would have been the main one.
All right, so let's just go. We're going to go down alphabetically. Air Force is over. Win total was 6.5. They won 5. JJ, you were the only one who had Air Force under 6.5. Stig and I both went over, so you hit on Air Force.
Boise, that's right. Calhoun was letting you know.
Yeah, and I should have listened to him. Damn it, he let me know for sure. Boise State's win total was 9.5. You guys both went low. I went over. They won 11. I won that. CSU. So the next two both beat all of us. Colorado State won 8 games this year. They're over and under 6.5. We all thought they were going to be a 6-16. We lose. We all thought Fresno State was better than 7.5. They won 6. Neither one of us. I mean, we're like so right now. 4 teams in. JJ and I are 1-3, and you're 0-4.
I think it's going to get worse.
JJ Hawaii 5.5. They hit 5 with the win the other day. You and I both had them low. Stig's 0-5. Nevada, we all lost, JJ. Nevada was 2.5. We all went low. Stig's 0-6.
How many did they win?
They won 3.
3, okay.
Yeah.
Missed that one by much.
Yeah, no, but you missed.
I can go to the window and say, hey, I didn't miss that one by much.
Scram.
Right.
New Mexico, 2.5. This was easy, I thought. Stig. So did you go under just to be different on this one?
Kind of. When they were like 14-point underdogs to Montana State, I was like, Vegas knows something that we. But anyway.
All right, you're 0-7.
I am very, very pleased, by the way, to have missed that one.
You're 0-7.
Yeah.
JJ, you're the only one who hit on San Diego State. Their win total was 5.5. Stig and I both went over. You went under.
That would be 0-8.
They won 3. Yeah. We all lose on San Jose State. Their win total was 4.5. They ended up winning 7. They beat Stanford the other day. They got Stanford at home. What are you 0? How many?
I'm running out of fingers, Jeff, but I think it's 9.
UNLV. This felt so easy to me. The win total was 7.5. You guys both went low. I went high. I win.
Okay, I'm out of fingers now.
All right, you don't need fingers for this one. You won this one.
Oh!
We all hit on Utah State. 5.5 was the number. We all went low. They won 4. We all hit on Wyoming. The number was 6.5, and they won 3. So Stig went 2-10 in the Mountain West. And JJ, you and I both went 6-6. However,
bowl eligibility.
Hey, I beat Mike Loxley though.
You did,
because he was 1-11.
We did play New Mexico State.
Oh,
we did. You lost on New Mexico State.
Of course.
The number was 4.5. They won 3. Stig, you went over. You lose. I went over. I lose. Do you know what you did? You have no idea?
I don't remember.
JJ, you went under. You win. JJ's the winner.
Oh!
JJ wins by going under on New Mexico State, 7-6. So you're 7-6. I'm 6-7, and Stig is a historically bad 2-11.
2-11.
Give me a raise.
So I want to use the Matt Eberflus excuse. I picked that exactly the way I wanted to pick it.
You're fired. Wow. All right, will you play with us again next year?
Oh, of course. What's the harm? Cost me a lunch with JJ. I'm happy to buy JJ lunch.
Look at him.
Look
at how fired up
I was
he is.
worried. I thought I might be historically bad.
No.
Were you?
Because I did not remember what I picked.
Yeah. I hadn't looked at these until the email reminded me, hey, we got to pull these out. So 8/23 of 2024. That's hard to go 2-11.
Yeah.
I mean, congratulations.
I will say this, Jeff.
Yeah.
You invited me to come do that about 5 minutes before we went on the air. So
all right.
I just picked the historically good teams to finish over.
I'm giving you a 9-month.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Heads up. I'm giving you a 9-month heads up.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, sorry.
I want to use that Matt Eberflus excuse.
Yeah, it's a good one, too. It'll get you fired. Right.
That, by the way, while I'm here, it was the excuse. I can't say the excuse was even worse than the mistake. The mistake was as bad. But for him to come out in the post-game press conference and say we played that exactly the way we wanted to, what? I was watching the game with my son and son-in-law, and the rest of the family was there, and I said, if I was the general manager, I'd have been on the field and fired him before he got to the locker room.
Yeah, fair enough. On the tarmac.
Well, it was a home game.
They were in Detroit.
What?
This Thanksgiving.
It was. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, I wouldn't even let him get him on the plane.
Yeah, on the tarmac. All right. Thanks for coming by.
Uber home.
We're going to the phones. If you're there, stay there. We're hitting you when we come back. Thanks for playing. You got a 9-month invite. Get to work. Start studying. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 630 Sports Animal.
Going back to my desk to do it now.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A show on Comcast Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico. Some of you call it Xfinity. Go to our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, and you can watch it there. Number's 505-246-0610. Sean, thanks for holding. Good morning, Sean. You're on the Sports Animal.
Hey, good morning, guys. Absolutely brutal sports weekend for myself as an Aggie fan and a Niner fan. But I wanted to focus specifically on the Niners. Is it time we have that? And I brought it up before on the show. Is it time we have the discussion about Kyle Shanahan? Because, yes, he gets you there. He gets you to the NFC Championship. He gets you to the Super Bowl. But the guy never learns from his mistakes. He makes bad personnel decisions. The play calling has gotten vanilla. I mean, he's probably forgotten more football last night than I'll ever know, and yet I can tell exactly what play he's calling. I think he's a bit overrated. I don't know if his seat is going to be hot or even in defrost mode because he's the ultimate yes man, and Jed York loves that. But it's time to take a look at it. I think they need to take away his ability to make personnel decisions because he does weird stuff like spends high draft capital on kickers, on position players when you neglect an O-line for several years, which cost you 2 Super Bowl wins. I think he needs an OC because I think he needs to focus overall on the game in itself. But, I mean, he just continues to fail in the biggest moments. And I know there's a bunch of people that'll be like, oh, you fired him. There's going to be 20 teams lining up to get him. That's fine. If you're a fan of a poverty franchise, you know, like the Browns or the Bears, you're going to love winning a bunch of games. And then he's going to rip your heart out at the end. So I think it's really time that we discuss whether or not he's the next Andy Reid, Mark Levy. I mean, he's there. I don't see him ever winning a Super Bowl with the Niners. He might win it down the line, but I don't see it happening.
That's a great call. No, thanks, Sean. I mean, what do you make of that?
49er fans are there.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan's going to have success, and it's not going to be the 49ers. I understand it. You get to a point where you get frustrated that you lost to Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid needed Patrick Mahomes to finally get over that hump. That's the exact same coaching equal. Because Philadelphia was like, get this bum out of here.
So you think he ends up somewhere else and gets over the hump somewhere else? Yeah.
Andy Reid was the same way.
100%.
Really good. Came up short. Never had the best quarterback.
Difference between Donovan McNabb and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
49er fans are there. They want that dude fired now and out. And sometimes things run their course, and it can be good, and it's not good enough. And you see, all right, the next one for Philadelphia, was Chip Kelly. And then they got to Doug Peterson, got the Super Bowl win.
Now they got Nick Sirianni.
Nick Sirianni, Super Bowl appearance. Bouncing back. But yeah, that is the narrative in San Francisco.
That's a great call. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Edward.
Good, gentlemen, what a great weekend. The previous caller, I could feel his pain, but JJ, you stole my thunder. Andy Reid was on the same exact trajectory, not only with the Eagles, but when he was first with the Chiefs with Alex Smith. His clock management at the end of games, it was a debacle. They move up in the draft, take one great Patrick Mahomes. Now he's the greatest thing ever. So I completely agree with you. Had the Niners signed Thomas Edward Brady when he left the 49ers, the New England Patriots, they would have won both those Super Bowls. There's no doubt in my mind they would have won both those Super Bowls against the Chiefs. And but sometimes you hit the lottery, sometimes you lose the lottery. And they have some decisions to make. Their 4-year window with this roster closed last night, and they have to rebuild. Guys, when DeMeco Ryans took the job, when he was the defensive coordinator with the Niners, I was a big fan. And what transpired yesterday, that emanates, I'm talking about the hit on Trevor Lawrence, that emanates from the top down. And that was inexcusable. And that type of activity, players in the moment make plays. I understand that. But that type of culture comes from the top down. There needs to be accountability. And I have a solution. Rather than just call in and complain, that gentleman that hit Trevor Lawrence should miss as many games as Trevor Lawrence is out. If you end a guy's career and you're a multiple offender, then your career is over. And I think that there should be repercussions with the head coach as well. So that's my thoughts. I remember when Marvin Lewis coached the Cincinnati Bengals, and Burfict would go out there and he was a menace, an absolute menace. And there was no accountability. And I'm not a fan of it. And just to be fair, I remember Rob Gronkowski speared Tre'Davious White from the Bills, and Belichick called out Gronk in the press conference and said that was BS, and he suspended him the next game. Now, did it subside everything? No, but at least he took action. So I'm not a fan of that, and I don't like it, and I think it needs to be addressed immediately. Now, putting in college football, Kirk Herbstreit came out with an article, and I'll forward it to you, or at least a post, and said the athletic directors need to be held accountable. They need to dig deep into who's causing these issues. And I'm a big fan of the emotion, and I'm a big fan of everything about college football. This weekend was amazing, but you're putting multiple people at risk. You can incite a riot. There's security people down there. There's coaches. There's elderly people, and they could get trampled or hurt in these melees. It needs to stop today, right? So I'm not trying to be too adamant, but I think it's getting out of control.
Yeah, no, I think there'll be something on the flag planting thing. I think that's coming out. And by the way, this morning, Azeez Al-Shaair, the guy you're calling out for hitting Trevor Lawrence, did take to X and did post an apology. Quote, to Trevor, I genuinely apologize to you for what ended up happening. Before the game we spoke, and I told you how great it was to see you back on the field and wish you well. I would never want to see a player hurt because of a hit I put on them, especially one that was ruled late or unnecessary. So, I mean, there's a post, and so he apologized this morning.
No, I'm glad to hear that, right? I think he should miss the equivalent amount of games that Trevor Lawrence is out, and that you'll curb that behavior. Last point, I've been saying for 3 years, Josh Allen's the best player in the NFL. I think he's been the best player in the NFL for 3 years, and I know who's been winning Super Bowls. The guy's amazing. He is the offense. He is the motor. And I would love to see a Lions-Bills Super Bowl. We may not get it. But during the Chiefs game, my friends were watching. I told them, I'm not even going to watch the game. But the most inexplicable garbage will happen at the end of the game, and the Chiefs will prevail. And guess what happens? Week in, week out, trash.
All right, man.
Have a great day, guys.
Let me read this to you. This is a post from Azeez Al-Shaair. It says, all praise to Allah. I've always played the game as hard as I could, never with the intent to harm anyone, and anybody that knows me knows that. My goal is to hit you as hard as I can. Then I pray you're still able to get up and play the next play. And when the game is over, go home to your family unharmed because it's not personal, it's just competition. We both are trying to do the same thing, which is provide for our families. I genuinely didn't see him sliding until it was too late. And it all happens in the blink of an eye. To Trevor, I genuinely apologize to you for what ended up happening. Before the game, we spoke, and I told you how great it was to see you back out on the field and wished you well. I would never want to see any player hurt because of a hit I put on them, especially one that is deemed late or unnecessary. To the rest of his teammates, I can definitely understand you having his back and defending him in a situation like that. To the rest of the people who I've been called every single name in the book, from reporters with their hands ready for a story to find there, and I'm out of it. There's more to it. All right, so that's an apology from Aziz Al-Shaair. All right, 505-246-0610. Fred, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Fred.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, what a heck of a weekend. I know you've talked a little bit about this already, but, we had the women have a great win on Wednesday. The men have a great game. It was so exciting against Arizona State, a very good Arizona State team. Then we beat USC the next night. Then I went to the La Cueva football game against Cleveland. Congratulations to Cleveland. Then you got the football game for the Lobos. Then the Lady Lobos again played another great game. And so I want JJ to – I'm going to hang up, and I want JJ to talk about the Lady Lobos because we haven't talked about it at all. But I like what's going on, and so I just want JJ to talk a little bit about it.
Thanks, Fred.
And that's all, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
You got a big one on Wednesday. You got on a plane. You went to Hawaii, came back, got off the plane, straight to your seat, courtside, and 2 big wins you got to call.
Yeah, what you want to see is learning lessons from tough losses, coming back. UC Irvine, game-winning 3 from Laura Langerman at the end. The only shot she hit all game, stepped up, knocked it down. And then North Texas team that was 5-1 coming in, picked second in the American Athletic Conference. Great first quarter, outscored them 28-12, and able to maintain that double-digit lead all game. So you got some payoff in this tough stretch, and now you got 2 games in 3 days, Friday and Sunday, against New Mexico State.
The Langerman shot, that was got to be pretty fun to call, wasn't it?
Yes. Especially if she's struggled from 3 this season. And the UC Irvine's going to zone them up, and you're sitting, all right, you have Cumber, you have Hargrove, you have Hooks, and then they went to Langerman, caught everyone by surprise, and a big-time shot.
Yeah. All right, you can come in. Gosh, there's so much still. I got all these correspondence from you I got to get to. 505-246-0610. Let's go. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You ever put a sock on, not realize that you had a hole in the bottom of it until you're walking around? Yeah, I just pulled out some socks I hadn't worn in a while. Oh, there you go. And I'm like, what the hell? I got to get rid of them. I know what I'm getting for Christmas now. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend. God, it was so good. My little girl was home. Took a hike, about a 3-mile hike on Saturday morning. It was awesome. And then, on Friday morning. Watched her first Michigan-Ohio State game as a student. It was different.
Of course.
It was
You're in it now.
different. And that rivalry's different even though she's like a freshman in it. Like, she's been to every home game. So she went to all 8. And she loves Michigan football now. And I guess if you grew up in that, you're going to school in that, you go to the big house, that's what you know. How do you not?
Oh, man.
But, yeah, it was something. All right, 505-246-0610. That is the Sports Animals phone line and our text line. Your emails come in, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks. You can watch it on our Facebook, the OD and the AM. Text line says, regarding Bronco, I couldn't see him making what I think is a lateral move to a place like Utah State. He's coaching a power conference, and I think if he makes a move, it's going to be back there. However, I think his stock increases even more if he stays at New Mexico and takes us to the next level next year. Then I could see him being gone to a power conference. Hope we can keep his coaching staff together and keep Dampier as well. It's an interesting way to look at it, and I don't know that I totally disagree with you. The only thing, and we've had this conversation, it's a different job than he took 11 months ago, 10 months or 12 months ago. Different athletic director. The league looks different. I hope he stays, and I think, like I said, Fernando Lobo starts today, and priority is that relationship and making sure my head football coach is staying and making sure that I can do everything that I can to keep my head basketball coach, my men's basketball coach. All right, Dan says it didn't look like a dirty shot on Trevor Lawrence, Jeffrey, and Juan Jose. It was a bang-bang play. When you're coached to go at full speed all the time, it's hard to pull up midstream. P.S. I'm not going to go crazy at the Lady Lobos beating Irvine without their best player. Were the Anteaters without their best player?
Oh, they were out there leading scorer.
Is that their best player?
Wasn't their best player, but it was leading scorer.
Yeah. All right, so
they still had the reigning conference player of the year on the court.
All right, Dan's not going to go crazy.
Okay.
Just telling you.
I know.
He's probably not going to the game either, but he's not going to go crazy. I'm just saying.
Like, so they still had the reigning conference player of the year. Fantastic post player. Yeah, they were out there, their leading scorer in that game, but your leading scorer doesn't always mean it's your best player.
Okay. Bourne says it's pretty creepy, but I see Kurt Roth behind the bench in Palm Springs and on the sidelines in Hawaii. He's not even an athletic director or an athletic department employee. It says he's not even an AD department employee. That's going to be an athletic department employee. Yet it's like he's running the department. P.S. Congrats to champion JJ. Everyone gets lunch on Stigfoot. Yeah, JJ won the predictor. I just looked back at 3 years worth of it. I mean, breaking 500 is a big deal. Just tell
I'll take it.
It's a big deal. Kurt Roth runs the Collective, 505 Sports Ventures, and I think he flew with Portnoy, right? They both left Palm Springs after the game and drove from Palm Springs to a hotel near LAX on Friday night. After Lobo men's basketball, they got out of there about 12:30, and then so that's about a 2.5 hour drive. So it gets you in about 3, and they had a 7:00 flight out of LAX to Honolulu. And he called how do you look when you saw him in Honolulu?
A little tired.
Yeah,
I'll do that to you.
Yeah, it'll do that to you, 100%. All right. Matt says, Jeff, I have no idea if there's any truth to the rumor that Bronco interviewed at Utah State or not. My brain has a very difficult time reconciling who he appears to be and the values he projects with this idea he'd potentially leave after 1 year. Just doesn't compute. It feels like he's here to do something. That said, this new world of college athletics makes anything seem possible. This is probably me coping in the event that he did interview. Maybe it's a leverage play. It would be a pretty effective way of sending the message that the state and the university need to commit to the program, or he can easily find a place that will. I don't know what the number is. Pick one, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 100 million. It's all about will, because the state has the money, and regardless of the number you pick, the required contributions to UNM and or NMSU are immaterial to the amount of cash the state has available. Latest audit just showed $5.8 billion in unspent capital outlay from prior years. Money just sitting there for approved projects that for one reason or another haven't come to fruition. That's on top of the estimated $3 billion in new surplus for FY24. I know the state has issues. I could go on forever about what they are and what we should do versus what we are doing to try to solve them. But the fact is, the state has the money to make UNM a relevant program. Does our leadership have the will to make it happen? We shall see. It's from Matt. It's interesting. Again, we are, I use this term a lot, we are the richest poor state in America. There is money. How do you want to use it? How should we use it is totally up for conversation. This says, NIL, great talk with Bronco this AM. The elephant in the room is obviously retaining Dampier. I'm sure that for the staff, they're acutely aware of the key pieces we need to retain that might not be as obvious to us casual observers. I liked hearing that they work closely with the collective to prioritize and strategize. Can you remind the listeners what this transfer window looks like? When does it start and when does it end? I'd like to know how long I need to hold my breath. Also, it'd be awesome if you guys could get Kurt Roth on to discuss our initiatives. We need to blast the message. Yeah, I'll work on that for you as far as, getting Kurt on and some of the stuff. I thought what Bronco talked about as far as the strategy, I'm trying to find the transfer portal for you. The strategy of how they work and that sort of thing, I think is a big deal, right? And I thought it was really good. It opens up Monday. Yeah, it basically runs bowl season. It runs 45 days. So, I'm sorry, less than 45 days. It runs from Monday, December 9th through December 28th. That's your transfer portal for guys to get in. So it's a 30-day window. But that's even less than 30 days. Kind of weird. But yeah, it opens up next Monday. It looks like 3 weeks, JJ. And that's when you hold your breath. And there's a lot of guys that already, are in it who, pick your school. People are already going in. So you'll watch it and you'll see every day now somebody's going in and somebody, there'll be another name. Hey, this guy's in, this guy's in, this guy's in. That's when that's your window to hold your breath. How about that? Bourne says, priority number one, Jeff, at halftime, did Bronco make a call from Aloha Stadium to Durango, Colorado? Where was the defensive line? When I read the paper and listened to Lobo talk, I didn't hear about any injuries. Well, where the defensive line wasn't home, right?
Hey, Coach done it all season long. He doesn't talk about injuries.
Yeah, I mean, where was it? The majority of his defensive line was injured and was at home. So, Bruce says, I can't wait for Tony the Tiger Tuesday, Jeff. Jason Jerome's football school was just swept by their mediocre rivals. Aggies lose to UTEP over the weekend, 42-35. They were up 24-14 at halftime, was New Mexico State. Got outscored 28-11 in the second half. And UTEP beats New Mexico. Did you see the crowd, by the way? Did you see any of that game? Everything I was telling you, that's the last year where there was a big crowd for the Jacksonville State game. But JJ, there's no way a 3-win football team in Las Cruces gets a crowd like that last game of the season if it wasn't for one of the rivals. It's perfect. Okay.
Is that going to be scheduled that way in conference for them?
I'm going to assume that they're going to schedule, they're only in conference for one more year.
Yeah. Right? So get it one more.
So no.
And UTEP.
Yeah. Like Florida State played non-conference, South Carolina and Clemson played non-conference. USC, Notre Dame played non-conference rivals at the end of the season. So I imagine you could still do it that way, but they're not going to be conference rivals for more than one more year because UTEP's going to the Mountain West. So, all right. Mike says 2024, the year of bye weeks and trouble finding games on TV. So I just asked Bronco Mendenhall at the end of the conversation, you know, how would you define this football season for Lobo fan? How was this year? And he talked about, oh gosh, he says, you know, building and optimism and promise, and right, that's what he said. Mike defines it as the year of bye weeks and trouble finding games on TV. Jeff Alou, I'll remember this campaign as the one where it seemed Lobo football was never able to gain momentum because every time a little interest in that started to be generated, there was a week off. It didn't help that it felt like you needed to buy a different TV package every week to watch the damn game, if it was on at all. It's from Mike. Every game was on, right?
The only one that was hard was Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was on an app, and they put the information out there. You had to watch that on your phone. You couldn't cast it. I mean, that one. Yeah.
Phone or tablet, that was it.
And I think Montana State was, well, that was on the Mountain West. No. That was Brando. That was
Fox
CBS
Sports
or Fox Sports 1. Yeah. Yeah, even that game was national TV. No, they were all on national TV. It was either Fox Sports 1, CBS Sportsnet. There was one game. The Colorado State game was on the Mountain West Network. Yeah, you had to go to themw.com. Yeah, like that's just the way it is. They're all on though. Back in the day, they weren't all on. Like all the road games weren't always on. I don't think. I mean, right? Did they send crews for every game? Was every game available for you? I don't think so. Hey, Marty, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Marty.
Hey, guys. I was very satisfied with the season. I expected 3 wins. I think Bronco exceeded expectations. I knew Dan Pierre would have an outstanding year running the football. I think he needs to improve from the pocket, and it's all really his footwork. It might be the fact that he is maybe thinking run first and then pass, but he did have, I think he had as many touchdowns as he had interceptions, so that needs to improve. I think Wysong, I mean, to his credit, he was sort of the number one go-to guy, but to me, he's really a 2 or 3. They need to get more dynamic on the receiving core, and overall, you know, we all know about the defense. It just wasn't good. I mean, that's how you can sum it up. It wasn't good. So the offense carried the defense. To me, again, it's more than I expected. To be one game away from making a bowl, I couldn't have told you that last year. And also those that predicted maybe the Lobos to finish dead last. So behind the face for them. But I think a lot of it has to go to Bronco and the credit. And, you know, he's still sort of working with Danny's pieces, too. Let's not forget.
Well, there were a number of them. I mean, certainly your quarterback and a lot of your better players were here. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So give him some time. Give him some time to recruit. Conference is going to change a little bit. I don't necessarily think for the worse. You know, these teams will adjust and they'll go after certain guys. The portal is nonstop recruiting. You got to recruit your own guys now. You know, the season's over. You got to re-recruit your own guys. You got to convince them to stay. So, I think it. You know, and I hate like that last. I don't know if he emailed or texted or whatever. I just the excuses for not going to games. You know, whatever. I've been here long enough to hear them all. So maybe you just don't want to go. You know, let's say it there. You don't want to go. You don't find it appealing enough. You'd rather go spend your time somewhere else.
Which is fine, by the way.
Yeah, I can live with that. But don't call in and text me and give me your excuses as to the breakdown why, the attendance.
Because I couldn't find the game. I know.
Just shut up.
Yeah. All right, man. Enjoy the day.
All right, man.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Let's take this final break. 505-246-0610. Recap everything you got to know as you go through your day. And there is still time for you to get in at 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
The Sports Animal.
Monday Night Football tonight here on your home for the National Football League, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Broncos, Browns. Get that tonight. Right here on the Sports Animal. Text line, Jeff, I'm sorry, 505-246-0610. Is Fernando Lobo having a press conference or did I miss it already? No, he was on with us last Monday. You can listen to that over on our website, sportsanimалabq.com. click on the opening drive and scroll down, and you can listen to the conversation he had with us. And I think he did an interview with the paper. That's the only thing I've seen.
They'll
right?
have one this week.
Yeah, there'll be something this week.
One, yes.
But that's the only one I've heard is the one with us, right?
Yes,
I believe. I could be wrong. I don't.
UNM will do an official one this week.
Yeah, that's the only, like I said, that's the only one I've heard. That doesn't mean that's the only one there was. How about that? Hey guys, good morning. Devin Dampier is better than me. Diego Pavia. Okay. Who's a better quarterback? I think if you were going to say, hey, who's a better prospect, you'd probably say, maybe you'd say Devin Dampier. Who is one more in big and significant? It's Diego Pavia. Right? I mean, you don't have to like that. It's
where their resumes are right now.
Right.
I don't think either are next level.
Devin Dampier just finished his junior year, and I think
sophomore.
Sophomore. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. And I think Diego Pavia is playing.
Diego's trying to get more years.
Yeah, he's got a bowl game to come, and then I think that will be his final game, unless he wins his lawsuit. But as far as who's better, I mean, one's got a hell of a resume. I'll tell you that. They both have a hell of a resume. How about that? They both do. Bourne says, reply to Marty, I think we're going to find out why Song was more tired and banged up the last half of the season than we're being told. I think that's probably right. I think you're going to find that out about a lot of dudes.
He missed the game with an ankle injury, so I don't think they were hiding anything. Like, he had a high ankle sprain.
That was the Colorado State game, that late hit that nobody called out a late hit, right?
Yes.
Which was a late hit. Yeah. All right, what's happening today in your headlines? There was an apology from Texans Azeez Al-Shaair. He posted an apology to Trevor Lawrence for the hit that has been posted. Trevor Lawrence posted, thanking everyone who's reached out and has been praying for me. I'm home, feeling better, means a lot. Thanks to all. Al-Shaair said, he never intended to hit him. Didn't see him sliding until it was too late. It says, to the rest of the people who I've been called every single name in the book from, reporters with their hands ready for a story to find their villain, to racist and Islamophobic fans and people, you don't know heart nor my character, which I don't need to prove to any of you. God knows my intentions, and anyone who has ever been a teammate or friend of mine knows my heart. That was the back part that I didn't get to earlier. Your perspective on this. Doug Peterson's the Jaguars coach. He just lost his quarterback. Said the play has no business being in our league. The coach of the other side, his coach, Houston's coach, D'Amico Ryan, said, quote, that's not what we're coaching. So it all depends on your side, right?
Of course.
Evan Ingram, Jaguars tight end. It was a dirty hit. Obviously, those hits are always in question. Trevor was going down. I saw it out of my peripheral. I got a pretty clear view of it. And in the moment, just reacted on instincts. I just didn't feel like it was a clean hit. So just go stick up for my quarterback. I mean, I saw him sliding, and then I saw the hit, and then honestly, it just took over. I just knew it was wrong. It was just a dirty play. You stick up for your guys. End quote. Suspension on this one? One game? He's a repeat offender. He's the same guy who...
Yeah, the repeat offender is where it's going to get you.
So he gets suspended, right? I mean, I got to believe that's coming any hour now. It's coming down. This came down this morning. Jeff Ulbrich. Do you know who Jeff Ulbrich is? I mean, most football fans know who Jeff Ulbrich is. He's the coach of the Jets. He said this morning, and Aaron Rodgers turns 41 today. Aaron Rodgers will remain the Jets' starting quarterback, that he can still play at a high level. Quote, obviously, that's part of every conversation regarding Aaron. Yeah, he's done amazing things. He's done legendary things, Hall of Fame things in this league. I think that's always part of the conversation, always, end quote. Okay, what about now? I guess when you're 3-9, does it matter? Well, I'm going to throw Tyrod Taylor out to see what he can do. I mean,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Christian McCaffrey, injured PCL. Could be out for weeks. They don't know yet for sure. He's going to undergo further testing today to determine the extent. Are they done? Like, it's hard for me to say they're done. They're 2 games out in their division with 5 to play without anybody just convincingly running away with that thing. and I know who they are and I know what they've done, but my eyes tell me they're not
that team. The head coach acknowledges that. Just because of what you did, it doesn't mean that's kind of the pieces you have in place now. Given the fact that they're 1-3 in the division, it's an uphill battle. Purdy might be losing some money over the last 3 weeks. You're kind of seeing the roster construction of the 49ers with all of the injuries. It could be the last we see of Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, and the Brock Purdy negotiations are going to be relinching because he actually could also play one more year without a contract if he wanted to. But why would he want to?
Why would he want to? Yeah. I mean, at that point, like, can't you go out and you can go get a bunch of money somewhere? All right. I'm waiting for the rankings to come out in college basketball. I just saw something where the first college net rankings are out. Tennessee 1, Auburn 2, Gonzaga 3, even with their loss. Duke, Pitt, Florida. Trying to find where I think New Mexico would be. I mean, you'd think their initial St. John's is 42. Boise State is 38, and they're 4-2. How come I keep having to go? San Diego State's at 60, even with their win. New Mexico's 66 net ranking at 6-2. That's crazy. So some of this, sometimes I just don't understand the computers. I just don't.
Well, you have one potentially good win. Arizona State's solid, but
you don't have two good wins?
Maybe 1.5. Where's Arizona State at?
Let me start at the top again. Because Oregon, who beat San Diego, UCLA is 16.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's a good win, right?
Yes.
St. Mary's would have been nice. They're at 25, but you didn't play them. Nevada and Steve Alford at 6-1. They're at 32. I don't know where the hell Arizona State is. Oh, they're there. They're at 33.
Okay, so yeah, 2 good wins.
You didn't beat Arizona State.
I mean, yeah, one. That's what I'm saying. I meant USC. I apologize.
Yeah.
Got that mixed up in my head.
All right. Thank you to Bronco Mendenhall for today and for spending all the time with us that he did all season long. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4. And then you get Monday Night Football, Broncos and the Cleveland Browns. Adrian, great work. Thank you. USC is 169. Big day for you?
Huge day.
I enjoy it. Hey, we're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
I might not be in the cage as much.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore, just like